In continuous expose of significant efforts of the Defense Ministry to ensure national security, the Minister of Defense in this second part serial interview looks at strategic initiatives and achievements of the ministry to ensure a safe and secure Nigeria. So, Honorable Minister, what initiatives and efforts have the Defense Ministry made under your leadership to enhance the capability and sophistication of Nigeria's defense industries in order to reduce the country's dependence on foreign sources of supply?
Several new strides have been achieved in the area of production under this administration. The Defense Industry Corporation of Nigeria, DICON, has attained a new level of production capabilities with the production of Izegu APCs, which was the first indigenous combat vehicles designed and built by DICON. These platforms are being used in the Northeast, that is the theater of Operation Wara, and DICON has also recently established a military and paramilitary clothing and accessories, which is a factory in Kaduna, which has the potential of creating about 1,000 jobs to Nigerians. Apart from the new development in DICON, the individual services have been involved in research, design, and manufacturing at their various levels. Like Nigerian Navy Dockyard Lagos has been involved in design and construction of seaward defense boats and house boats. In December 2021, the third seaward defense boat was commissioned into the Nigerian Navy. Also, the Nigerian Air Force, through Air Force Research and Development Center and the Air Force Institute of Technology, has evolved in the modification of several aircraft parts as well as research into an armed aerial vehicles. The ministry is very conscious of the need to be more indigenous in the defense production, such as most of the defense contract is about technological transfer and partnership with our own defense industries. All of these are geared toward reducing the country's dependence on foreign equipment and plan for self-sufficiency in the nearest future.
The Nigerian Armed Forces recently celebrated the Armed Forces Remembrance Day, and this is actually to honor our fallen heroes. As a ministry, what is the long-term welfare package for families of the officers and men who died in active service?
Let me start by conveying my deepest sense of honor and respect to our fallen heroes who departed in the line of duty, defending our nation and maintaining peace and unity of the country. It is our duty to therefore remember and honor our fallen heroes who have paid the supreme price in the defense of our country. This is particularly important considering that these heroes left behind families and loved ones who will always cherish them. Therefore, the welfare of these families will always be central to the remembrance of these fallen heroes. It is important to note that every service personnel in the armed forces is insured with a group life insurance scheme. The scheme ensures that families of the deceased are adequately paid compensation in line with the extant provisions. More so, the families are paid all other entitlements of the deceased as well as scholarships scheme for deceased children through school fees in addition to the burial expenses borne by the government in service.
Honorable Minister, in pursuit of peace and stability in the world through the United Nations, the African Union, and ECOWAS, what significant role has the Nigerian Armed Forces played to remain strategically relevant?
Nigeria has been a member of ECOWAS, African Union, member of the United Nations and has participated in many peace operations at all levels. Nigeria has contributed many military contingents, military observers, military staff officers, foreign police units, and police advisors, as well as civilian experts, to more than 40 United Nations, OAU, which is now AU, and ECOWAS missions. Presently, Nigeria has deployment in Mali, Guinea-Bissau, as well as military observers and staff officers. Nigeria also intends to fulfill its commitment to the operationalization of Africa's standby force through the leadership role in the regions of ECOWAS standby force. Until recently, Nigeria was the fifth largest troops contributor to United Nations, but we have to draw down to meet the higher demands for troops in the ongoing internal security operation, particularly in the northeast. The insecurity caused by Boko Haram insurgency in the northeastern Nigeria and the contiguous countries in the Lake Chad led to the establishment of multinational joint task force comprising of troops from Nigeria, Chad, Niger, Cameroon, Benin Republic. Nigeria intends to uphold her foreign policy objectives in promoting international cooperation for consolidation of universal peace.
A major security threat to defense efforts to any country is the existence of fifth columnists. Let us share the experience of the Nigerian Army in tackling this dangerous menace.
As you have rightly pointed out, having traitors and disloyal elements in the system is a global phenomenon and is not only applicable to the military. One of the ways the Nigerian Armed Forces tackles the menace is by ensuring that only loyal and upright citizens of Nigeria are employed into the armed forces right from the beginning. The recruitment process into the armed forces is subjected to proper background checks and vetting. This is applicable for officers, cadets, and soldiers recruitment. There is also routine rotation of troops from any particular operational location, and this prevents troops becoming too familiar with subversive elements in their places of assignment. The military also has its intelligence mechanism to ensure that troops remain loyal, and those who allow themselves to be recruited as fifth columnists are fished out quickly.
You have received the Implementation Advisory Reform Committee report for the Ministry of Defense and the Armed Forces of Nigeria. How well have you digested and implemented the recommendations, and of what impact has it been, really?
Some of the significant recommendations made by the committee is the conduct of annual operational capability audit to the armed forces to enhance fighting capability of the armed forces. The adoption of integrated logistics support system also to minimize wastage in the procurement process, and the comprehensive security sector reform to address the deficiencies inherent in our paramilitary agencies, among others. We have looked also into the report and already set up a mechanism that has started the implementation of the recommendations.
What are the human capacity development strategy of the ministry adopted to build a dynamic armed forces in Nigeria?
Honestly, human capacity is key to success of any institutions. We have had to critically assess the capability of the armed forces in comparison with the current security challenges and the likely future threats. Consequently, we have had to acquire several military equipments and made some doctrinal upgrades. All these have been complemented by a series of professional military training for members of the armed forces in training institutions, both Nigeria and abroad. We have also worked with our partners to upgrade our military training schools in order to better build capacity here in Nigeria.
On a final note, Honorable Minister, what are the future proactive plans, projections of the Ministry of Defense to sustain and maintain the internal and external territorial protection of Nigeria?
We are committed to sustaining our current efforts and working with our partners in the region and abroad to strengthen the capacity and capability of our armed forces. We are exploring various options to boost our indigenous military industrial capability, and we have signed many memorandums of understanding with several countries with a view to actualizing these plans. Our desire, therefore, is to build an armed forces that will be upright to all Nigerians and Africans. We are making progress, and we are pleased to see that our armed forces is on upward trajectory. On behalf of the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration, the Ministry of Defense is making pragmatic and proactive efforts to end terrorism, insurgency, banditry, kidnappings, and all forms of insecurity in our great country. It is our resolve to make Nigeria safe and secured for the benefit of all. We enjoy all Nigerians to believe and have faith in this government. God bless Nigeria.
Major General Bashiru Salihi Magashi, retired Honorable Minister of Defense, has been our guest on the Minister's platform. This is one strategic ministry that has made a lot of giant strides in trying to ensure national security in the country. It's been quite interesting, sir, speaking with you. Thank you, sir, for coming on the program.
Thank you very much.
And that's it. The Minister's platform will continue in a moment. We'll be right back.